Welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, I'm Tanya, a doctor, lawyer turned homeschool mom of 3 kids ages 14, 11, and 9. If you are interested in videos about secular homeschooling, raising a child with ADHD, and living a more essentialist lifestyle as a mom in her 40s, you have come to the right place, so be sure to hit that subscribe button down below the video. Very few people who actually watch my videos are subscribed, and it really does help me in the algorithm, so I would appreciate it if you would just take a second right now and hit that subscribe button. It just takes a minute, and that way you'll be alerted whenever I post a new video. I am attempting to get back into my weekly posting schedule, but I cannot make any promises because life happens. I do an assortment of different videos on this channel. Some of them include videos like this, where I just show you a flip through of a workbook. In today's video, we will be going over the text-based writing for grade 5 by Evan-Moor. This is a part of a new series by Evan-Moor. Now, I have been an affiliate for Evan-Moor for years now, since the very beginning of our homeschool career, and I think Evan-Moor does an exceptionally good job of creating workbooks that are not only teaching the children rote skills of grammar, etc., and writing mechanics, but also challenges them with more conceptual reading comprehension questions and analytic discussions. So I really appreciate the effort that goes into their workbooks. I don't think they are just time fillers or morning starters or anything like that. I really think you can conscientiously include them in your curriculum for the year. If you have many children, I encourage you to look into Evan-Moor's TeacherFileBox, which allows you to print off sheets for different unit studies you might be doing, etc., for several children. And it is value for the money. I think you can't beat it. So I will put a link for that in the description box down below. Those are all affiliate links. I appreciate when you use my affiliate links because it just helps motivate me to keep making videos, and I appreciate it. It's a way of saying thank you to creators who show you the new things. That all being said, this is text-based writing. They sent this to me in exchange for my review, and I was so impressed that I actually bought 2 more for next year's homeschool for both my girls on my own. This includes 12 units of level text ranging in topics over science, social studies, health, biography. There are writing prompts, graphic organizers, content words, dictionaries, comprehension questions, all included in here. I really think this is an excellent writing supplement, or it could stand on its own, honestly, depending on how much you want to include writing. In the case of having a new writer, I think the earlier grades of this could be an excellent, gentle start. In the case of having an older writer who perhaps feels more comfortable, this is a great supplement. For an older writer who maybe is still feeling their way into writing, this is a nice, very stepwise progression into writing, and you'll see that in a second. All right, so to get into it, you have a table of contents, and this lays out for you very clearly all the different types of reading assignments as well as writing assignments per unit. So each unit has a topic of study, meaning either social studies, science, health, biography, or a how-to article. And it looks a little bit social studies heavy. If you see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 social studies articles in here. So this curriculum could even be an addendum to a social studies curriculum. And then each article has a different topic. So for example, this one's about pearl diving. There's one that's a debate about whether we should be eating more beef or bugs, building a better nest, fabulous foods, Sonia Sotomayor, transportation, Paula Hammond, etc. Each unit also has a different type of writing assignment. So here you have a cause and effect essay, again, 2 explanatory essays, a sequence essay, compare and contrast, and 2 opinion essays, and then 4 more argument essays. So they're teaching you stepwise through these things how to write expository essays and how to make persuasive points based on a reading. I really appreciate this about Evan-Moor workbooks, by the way, that they have a section where it explains the teaching pages for the teacher as well as the student pages. So if we go through, and I'll go through all of these independent things as we get closer, but just very quickly, you have reading levels here to identify appropriate text at the top. And then you have lesson objectives and concepts, a suggested learning path. You have a unit focus, lesson checklist here, so students have a way of knowing what they've done and how they've gone through. And then you have a vocab section, the nonfiction article, comprehension questions, a graphic organizer. Some of them look like this, other ones have different formats, a writing prompt, and then a writing evaluation where they have the opportunity to evaluate their own writing, which I think is such an important skill for anyone learning to write. There is a student rubric here where basically they have to mark out whether their ideas, for example, were unclear or had a clear focus throughout. Did it have a main point that was clear? Did it have accurate information or vague information? Was the article organized well? Did it use graphics well, etc.? Here's all the vocabulary definitions that are covered in the entire book across the 12 units. So you can see it's not too heavy. And then you have teacher pages per unit. So if we go through unit 1 about precious pearls, you have, again, it says level T. Now, I'm not a huge fan of leveled readers, but if you had to report that for your school district or anything like that, or your homeschool review, that's there for you. Here you have the objectives. So you've got writing objectives, vocab objectives, content knowledge objectives, and essential understanding. So those are all checkpoints for you as a teacher. And then if you were going to use this in a classroom, it has a very clear preparation for the unit. If you have multiple students in your homeschool, that's very helpful. And then you have a unit focus and lesson checklist. So you can read aloud these focus statements. What are we going to read about? The answer would be pearls. What are you going to learn about them? The causes and effects of worldwide demand. Basically, when they get their student checklist, it tells them exactly what they need to know. And so you can review that with them if you like. I let my daughter pretty much do this on her own. And as we go through the pages, you have this little unit focus that preps them for what's coming ahead, and then a checklist. She actually doesn't use the checklist. She's a checklist fan. I'm surprised she doesn't, but she didn't want to. Then you have learning the vocab. The learning the vocab section, I don't know that I'm so fond of this page, because basically all they do is they give you the word, they give you the definition, and then you write the word. So very straightforward. In some ways it's a good example of just like being aware of the word and the structure of the word and spelling of the word, but I feel like that could have been stronger. So then you have the nonfiction article, which is about 2 pages long with illustrations, a bolded title. I have my student highlight as she reads and then box or underline things that are relevant for her as she needs to answer the questions. So then you have a question page for reading comprehension. You have multiple choice as well as free response. And then you have an organizer. So the organizer here happens to be a cause and effect organizer. So she would have to go back to the article, and then that's why she was writing C and E to find her different things. It doesn't have to be 4, it could be more. And then in her notebook, she went ahead and wrote the essay. The reason I have it in the notebook is because often my students will type out their essay, and then that way they have an opportunity to do a second draft and fix all their grammatical errors, etc., in a very efficient way. And then you have a page for evaluating your own writing. I think this step is so important, especially to teach kids that, there's nothing that has to be perfect on its first run, and you can always sharpen and hone your writing. So to go through these main points, like whether the reason for your writing is clear, what kind of signal words you used for cause and effect, what details you use to support the topic, whether the paragraph has a clear focus, etc. And she had not had this actually. The last paragraph summarizes the cause and effect relationships with this sentence. So she just added that in her essay on her second draft. So this type of review is essential. So that's unit 1. It's really easy to do in a week. If you wanted to do it all in a couple of days, you could probably do that too. As you can see, each section is not that extensive. So you have the vocab, you have the writing. Again, same exact format here because it's another cause and effect essay. And then on the next one, you can see it's a different type of organizer. So you have a Venn diagram here. And she hasn't written this one yet, so this is why we have not gotten to this one yet. I'm going to show you a couple of others that have different organizers, so you can see what other types of things they have. So here you have an argument and then details to support that argument. Here you have where to find the facts. This is for a how-to article. What are the facts and how to make sure the facts are accurate, so you're vetting the resource. Here you have this type of word map about a person and their biography. So I really appreciated this workbook, honestly. The formatting, the brevity of the reading assignments, the meatiness of them, though, that they're actually learning content that's worth knowing. They review the content, so they have retention. They organize that information with different types of graphic organizers, and then write a piece about it, and then also evaluate their writing. So all of those pieces I thought were done incredibly well. Quickly, I wanted to show you an example of the Pearl article that my daughter wrote about. So this was her first draft here. We do have a system where I will edit it, and then she will highlight as she corrects them in her second draft. This was her final draft, and I just noted that she didn't have that conclusion sentence because that's what we talked about. This was her essay on the second unit, and I don't mind if she writes or if she types. It's really up to her, but I like it to be in their notebook so they have a record of how their writing is progressing. I write in red pen. I have no issue with red pen and editing. I taught my kids from a young age that editors are a great addition to any writer's toolkit. And when you can learn how to edit yourself in the same way, it makes your writing that much stronger. There is no perfect at the beginning especially, and that's really not what we're aiming for. I try real hard to allow them to keep their own voice as they write, but grammar and things like that should be corrected. So again, always include your positive comments in your editing because that's what makes it fun for them. I will point out that if you get daily editing, your daily paragraph editing by Evan-Moor, it really helps them understand that editing is not bad, that editing is just a form of correction and improvement. Because what I tell my kids with daily paragraph editing is that they should pretend to be the editor, and they can say little comments of frustration at their writers who have mailed them in writing samples, etc. So they have learned that they can be both the editor and the writer, and there's nothing wrong with being edited. And I think that's an important thing to learn. This lovely little notebook is, of course, by my friend Megan at School Nest, by the way. I will link those in the description box as well. We get one for every single grade. We also use a bunch of our other notebooks, and I encourage you to look at all of them because they are wonderful. So that was text-based writing for grade 5 by Evan-Moor, you guys. I hope that was helpful. I always appreciate it if you use my affiliate links. They will be linked in the description box down below if you want them. Definitely think about TeacherFileBox also, though, if you are looking into unit studies or you have several kids, just to save costs across time and across different kids. As always, you guys, I really do appreciate you spending some of your time with me. I realize that it's valuable, and I just appreciate it. So thank you, and I wish you guys the very best day.